And just a minute to 9 p.m. East African time, coming to you live from Nairobi, Kenya. This is Friday. To our top picks just for you. Tonight,
we are very happy that justice has been served. At least now Willie can rest in peace.
Justice for slain lawyer Willie Kimani 6 years after his brutal murder. Judge Jesse Lesit hands Willie Kimani's killer a death sentence. Also tonight,
we challenge the Ministry of Water and the national government to look at the proposed tariff because it's going to be very punitive to an eye.
Kenyans to pay more for water as new levies take effect. And Nakuru quintuplets laid to rest in Nakuru County in an emotional send-off. Good evening, welcome to the broadcast. Catherine Simoloi is on the sign language interpretation and I'm yours truly, Stanley Yerungita, officially welcome to Friday. But a top story this evening, a former police officer, Frederick Oleleliman, who is believed to be the mastermind behind the murder of lawyer Willie Kimani, his client and a taxi driver, has been handed a death sentence. Justice Jesse Lesit also handed Leliman's co-accused a sentence of 30, 24 and 20 years in prison respectively. And as Sylvia Nyongesa reports, emotions ran high following the sentencing at the Milimani Law Courts, with the family of the deceased loading the judgment.
The families of slain lawyer Willie Kimani, his client Josephat Mwendwa and a taxi driver Joseph Moiruri could not hold their relief after the sentence delivered by Justice Jesse Lesit on 4 people accused of murdering their loved ones in 2016. And to Josephat Mwendwa's widow, the emotions were just a bit too much. The widows of the 3 lauded the ruling, which they said was long overdue in the case that dragged on for 6 years, noting that today's incident restored the confidence in the justice system.
Today we are very happy that justice has been served. At least now Willie can rest in peace. And along the way we had lost hope. We thought it would never happen. But we really thank God because our God is a God of justice.
In her ruling, Justice Jesse Lesit imposed the death penalty on Frederick Oleleliman, who is believed to be the mastermind of the murder, noting that the accused had abused his authority as a police officer and acted contrary to what was expected of him as a man in uniform. Justice Lesit further sentenced the other 2 former police officers, Stephen Cheburet and Sylvia Wanjiku, to 30 and 24 years in jail respectively, and police informer Peter Ngugi to 20 years, citing Ngugi's confession as a huge contribution to the breakthrough of the case.
The most suitable sentence for each of the accused persons is as follows. The first accused is sentenced to death in each of the 3 counts. The death sentence in counts 2 and 3 are held in abeyance. Now the second accused is sentenced to 30 years imprisonment in each of the 3 counts, with the prison terms running concurrently.
However, criminal lawyer Cliff Ombeta has vowed to appeal the sentencing and conviction of his clients in the case Frederick Leliman and Stephen Cheburet. Kimani's case began in 2015 when his client, Border rider Josephat Mwendwa, was accidentally shot by police officer Frederick Leliman, and in an attempt to seek justice, the case subjected Mwendwa to threats and intimidation from the officer involved. Lawyer Kimani took up the case in 2016 after the Border rider was falsely accused of violating traffic laws and charged in court in a bid to drop complaints against Leliman. Sylvia Nyongesa, TV 47.
And now to matters affecting your pocket. At least 800,000 Kenyans are behind payment of the Hustler Fund loans. Updating Kenyans on Hustler Fund progress, President William Ruto said that the defaulters were behind schedule in terms of repaying the loan. However, 6 million subscribers of the Hustler Fund are now able to access more money following a review of their borrowing history, stating that the Hustler Fund will review its 18 million users' borrowing history after every 4 months and award them with a financial grade, explaining that the financial grade will determine the loan limit based on how they regularly borrow and repay.
10 million Kenyans have opted into the Hustler Fund. 15 million have borrowed. 14.2 million Kenyans are servicing their loans regularly. 800,000 are behind schedule, but I'm sure they will catch up. And we have lent 17 billion Kenya shillings to these members. We have lent 17 billion Kenya shillings, and members of the Hustler Fund have also saved 850 million Kenya shillings. So we are now building a pool of savings. Like you have built 28 billion shillings in 50 years, we will catch up with you very soon. Because we are almost 1 billion shillings and it's not yet 3 months. I am sure in 2.5 months we will reach 1 billion shillings, and therefore we will catch up with you very soon. So we want to build the sense of savings in Kenya, because development, investment is a function of savings. If we don't save, we cannot borrow. The reason why Police Sacco is lending is because there are people saving.
Today's celebration is not just for the police, but to also celebrate the entire Sacco movement in Kenya. We have 361 registered cooperative SACCOs, ranging from the farmers and productive sector, ranging from finance. There are also those in education sector, the teacher SACCO. There are those in transport sector. There are those, again, dealing with small lending and credit. So all of them have a combined asset, Your Excellency, of 1.5 trillion with a loan book of 1 trillion and a deposit of 980 billion. So from that, Your Excellency, you can see 30% of our savings, national savings, comes from the corporate.
Now, former President Uhuru Kenyatta's security detail has been scaled down in what government operatives say is a streamlining of personnel in the discipline service. This as Inspector General of Police Japheth Koome dismissed claims that the move was a political witch hunt. Flora Lemuke reports.
Inspector General of Police Japheth Koome Friday said the security details attached to former President Uhuru Kenyatta had been scaled down but not withdrawn as reported. Koome confirmed that the changes were part of restructuring process within the National Police Service.
Inspector General is available if any of our leaders, any of our senior leaders has any issue. As I've stated, ours is to ensure we are fair to every senior citizen, our fellow citizens, whether low or high.
He said it would be unfair if the former government officials were to retain the same number of security personnel in their retirement, yet the current officials needed protection in their operations. Koome defended the move, saying that it's not a political witch hunt.
There is no politics in this, and the Inspector General will not allow at all to be dragged into politics. Mine is a dependent office to serve my beautiful country.
These comes amid an ongoing political rift between President William Ruto and former President Uhuru Kenyatta, days after Ruto and his allies called for Kenyatta's family tax scrutiny.
People who talk a lot about what they will do and do nothing.
At the same time, Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has slammed the Kenya Kwanza Brigade, saying the security standoff is a diversionary tactic aimed at diverting Kenyans from the real issues, including the ailing economy.
Downgrading the security of the head of state because of their own reasons is something that we cannot take kindly, and we do not want that line of behavior continued.
According to the Presidential Retirement Benefits Act 2013, the former president is entitled to at least 6 bodyguards and security in both urban and rural homes on a need basis as determined by the Minister of Interior from time to time. However, the same law allows the state to deprive him of the benefits if Parliament passes a resolution on the same. This can happen if the retired president gets another job in the government and earns a salary or is jailed for over 3 years or actively participates in running politics. Flora Limukit, TV 47.
All right, let's get into some matters of politics. Jubilee elected members of parliament have boycotted a parliamentary group meeting convened by Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni. Differences in the once powerful ruling party are so rife that a press conference convened by Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni was also snubbed by the MPs. Kioni, during a press conference today, said he will meet the MPs at a later date. Apollo Kamau with more.
A parliamentary group meeting expected to dictate the future of the once vibrant Jubilee Party failed to take off on Friday, a move attributed to a leadership fallout in the party ranks. The PG failed to take off after the party's elected MPs snapped the meeting. Not even a press conference by Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni and Nairobi branch officials at the party's new headquarters was attended by the MPs in what insiders say is a growing rift between elected and non-elected party members.
The elected leaders have their work to do. You remember they have the floor, and we want them to use the floor to articulate the issues that we are articulating out here. We will have meetings with the leaders who are elected also. I was yesterday with the leaders of Kiabu.
Signs that all is not well in the party emerged after the recent meeting between President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua with the party's MPs from the Mount Kenya region, where they declared their support to the government. The MPs have also given their ongoing Azimio resistant rallies a wide berth, attracting condemnation from their colleagues. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta is yet to resign as reported late last year, leaving the party in a dilemma regarding its future. The PG, which would have been the first after last year's presidential election, was expected to take stock of the party's performance and its future after it was outtrained by UDA in its former stronghold of the Mount Kenya region. Apul Kamau, TV 47.
Now to sad note, the burial of quintuplets born to a Nakuru family took place today at the Nakuru South Cemetery. However, the mother of the children, Margaret Wairimu, was unable to attend the funeral due to her current health status. The quintuplets who were born prematurely were buried in one casket in a ceremony that was attended by hundreds of people. Chichi Josephine with that story.
Emotions were high at the Nakuru South Cemetery during the burial of the quintuplets that were born on 31st January and died yesterday at the Nakuru Level 5 Hospital. The well-dressed babies were placed in the same coffin for their interment as they were picked from the hospital's mortuary where they were being preserved. Even though the mother could not attend her children's burial, close family, friends and Ndongo's colleagues streamed in to bid farewell to the quintuplets. Bahati Member of Parliament Irene Njoki, through a statement read by a representative, pledged to support the family as the 2NK Sacco Nakuru Region Fraternity pledged to avail resources to the family in their recovery journey.
Mheshimiwa, kama wengine tulicelebrate na tukaambia Mwenyezi Mungu si ni baraka. Pia siku ya leo tuko hapa kwa sababu Mwenyezi Mungu ndo ametukutanisha tuweze kukaa na hii familia na tuwape nguvu, tuweze kuwaambia pia Mwenyezi Mungu ndo ako na mpangilio.
Lakini kwa haya mambo haya ilitokea, tukasema Mungu ametenda maneno kwenda kwake. So sisi kama 2NK ndikuwa tumeshikiliana na Ndongo na akaamua kumbe wetu watakuwa na siku watakuja wao sababu wako karibu kuja watembelee Ndongo na waweze kusaidia pahali ambao wataweza.
On behalf ya watu wa Bahati, mujipe nguvu na Mungu awasaidie Wakenya wote kwa kushirikiana na hii familia.
Margaret, the mother, is still recuperating at the Nakuru Level 5 Hospital.
Kwa maana uvumbi wewe, nawe mavumbini utarudi.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Na tuwasema asante Mungu amekuwa amepania hawa watoto na ameona vyema awachukue.
Quite sad state of affairs right there, and hopefully no parent should be burying their children. Now, a farewell caravan for the late Professor George Magoha shall proceed from Lee Funeral Home on the 8th of February through places that define the former Education Cabinet Secretary's life. This is according to the spokesperson of the burial committee, Julius John. Magoha, who suffered a cardiac arrest last month, will be laid to rest at his home in Umeru, Nyamininia on the 11th of February.
Preparations for the burial of the late former Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, are in top gear, both at his Nairobi residence and in Umeru, Nyamininia, Siaya County, barely a week to his burial date. Friday, the burial committee revealed that a farewell caravan will proceed through places that defined most of his adult life in Nairobi County before his remains are transported to Siaya County for burial,
including the College of Health Sciences at Kenyatta Hospital, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council headquarters, the Nigerian High Commission, St. George's Primary School, the Kenya National Examinations Council on Dennis Pritt, State House Girls, the University of Nairobi Graduation Square, and Starehe Boys Center.
The committee's spokesperson, Julius John, has also stated that public viewing of the body will be done on Thursday at the Consolata Shrine in Nairobi during a Requiem Mass.
It should be borne in mind that in his last tour of duty as Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor Magoha was always in the midst of children and students. This explains why we are focusing on the schools where he had a major impact on the young people.
Since the passing on of Magoha, who suffered a cardiac arrest, Kenyans from all walks of life have continued to condole with the family, with both the current and former administrations promising to support the family to ensure Magoha receives a befitting farewell.
And meanwhile, the Teachers Service Commission has replaced all interdicted teachers who allegedly coerced pupils to engage in indecent acts depicting homosexuality at Itumbe DOK Primary School in Kisii County. Meanwhile, the teachers will spend the weekend behind bars as they await the bail ruling. Alpha Combo reports.
The Teacher Service Commission has replaced 7 teachers who are accused of promoting indecent act among pupils in Itumbe DOK Primary School in Kisii County. The Commission has instead ordered for the transfer of teachers from Itibonge, Kionduso PAG, Musasa DOK, Bosansa DB, Giasaiga DB Primary Schools to fill the gaps left at the school following the teachers' interdiction.
Asking for 14 days in the view of the court will be asking too much. That will be too long. Accused being brought to court, and we are told there is only one teacher remaining in the school. This is an allocation yet to be proven to serve the interests of the complainants and the accused persons.
Meanwhile, police will hold the teachers for 2 more days to allow the police complete investigation on the matter, as bail hearing for the 7 is set for Monday next week.
I will order that they be detained for only 2 days. That will take care of today and tomorrow. Then we mentioned the matter on Monday, the 6th of March, by which time the prosecution should be ready to charge the accused, or the court will keep them bound and on some terms to report to the DCI as the case may be, until the prosecution make up their minds. For now, the accused will be detained for only 2 days, today and tomorrow. We mentioned it on Monday, with a view to having them take plea, or they will be discharged on bond terms to be decided by the court.
However, the lawyer who represented the teachers disagreed with the decision, stating that the teachers have been denied their rights.
Vile mahakama imesema sisi hatukubaliani nayo. Ukweli kwamba hii ni mahakama ya sheria. Nilisikia mahakama imesema imeconsider public opinion. In law, there is no public opinion. It is clear from the Constitution that once somebody is brought to court, that person must be informed of the charges he is facing. and as soon as practicable, be released on bond.
According to NAT Secretary General Gucha Branch, the action may make the teachers shy away from punishing the pupils.
About it, and I would urge my teachers now, our teachers, to teach and go home. These other things like discipline, moral upbringing, and what have you, we leave it to the parents and the government, because that is what a society wants. We have to collectively correct this behavior that deviates from the social norm.
Otherwise, if we go like this, teachers may not work. Teachers are going to leave the students like that. Even if they find them doing anything, they'll just keep quiet. And things will that. Is that the society we want to bring up?
Kombo Alfayo, TV 47 Ogembo.
And gaming firm Hollywood Bets has launched a foundation known as the Hollywood Foundation that seeks to help young and the less fortunate children overcome the financial burden by supporting them in attaining a conducive learning environment. Children from the Heritage of Faith and Hope Children's Rehabilitation Center in Mlolongo, that is in Machakos County, today benefited from a donation of 35 mattresses from the foundation. Our reporter Dennis Oteno tells us more.
It is a humanitarian effort that knows no boundaries, at least according to the regional manager of gaming firm Hollywood Bet, Collins Opanga. A foundation launched in November 2022 with the aim of helping young and less fortunate children overcome financial challenges hindering their education.
We want to touch lives, not only for children but also other sectors in the economy, because we want to grow a very nice society where everybody is free to do whatever they want to do, and just because of the good background that we'll be able to provide for them.
Hollywood Bets put a smile on the faces of children from the Heritage of Faith and Hope Children's Rehabilitation Center by donating 35 mattresses in one of many series of assistance they intend to offer the institution.
This is just the start. We've started and we'll be able to continue coming in, day out with the small support we'll have, and we'll be able to grow this particular place and also grow ourselves together.
This is the second support program the gaming firm has conducted in the country, the first one being in December 2022 at the Riondonga High School in Kisii County, where they planted tree seedlings in a bid to grow organic food from the school.
During that particular time, we provided seedlings because we are encouraging these guys to start producing their own food crops so that the school cannot be able to spend money going out and buying these particular food items.
Opanga says the initiative is expansive and limitless since they are targeting to reach and support as many underprivileged children in the country as possible.
This is just the start and we have a lot more lined up. Yeah, it's going to be a very good journey, and I hope with God's grace we shall reach there.
Meanwhile, Heritage Children's Home founder Teresia Waweru, while expressing her gratitude to the gaming firm for their support, called on well-wishers to come on board and support the needy children in the country.
Thank God for Hollywood, because they have come in such a time when we need a shoulder to lean on, and it's so encouraging to see that they are good men of goodwill who have decided to come and give us a shoulder, and it's so motivating. We don't give because we have. We give because we have a heart. So I'm calling upon men and women on this land of Kenya to come up and support a child in Heritage of Faith, and it will make a future for them. It will make them consolation. It will make them a great person to assist other children in future.
David Gitau, who is one of the beneficiaries from the Heritage of Faith and Hope Children's Rehabilitation Center and an aspiring magic tricks entertainer, stated that co-curricular activities should also be focused on as a way of nurturing talent.
We heard the news about mattresses. We were so excited until the mattresses came, and yeah, we were happy, so excited, feeling that now we are going new beddings. Yeah, so we are very excited. Assist us in things like sports. Yeah, basically sports. Much motivated. Now we have the confidence. Yeah, and we are hoping for the best.
And as the common saying goes, a stitch in time saves 9. The early initiative by gaming firm Hollywood Bets will go a long way in improving the living standards of needy children in the country. Dennis Otieno, TV 47, Nairobi.
Quite a commendable action right there. Now, water shortage has hit many villages in Murang'a County as some of the rivers and boreholes dry up, leaving residents struggling to access the precious commodity. They are worried that the situation might magnify, urging the government to intervene. Paul Menu with more. Right, we do apologize for that. We'll be bringing that later on. And now to matters security. It is a reprieve for persons using the Moyale Border one-stop border post, that is OSPB, with the government outlaying its plans of reducing the border crossing time from 6 hours to 3 hours. And Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki noted that the point serves as a key connection to traders and a movement of goods from Kenya to Ethiopia and vice versa. Morgan William with the details.
Since the official launch of the Moyale one-stop border stop in 2020 by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, trade between the two neighboring nations had immensely improved, with the Kenya Kwanza government gearing to even better the situation. Cabinet Secretary for Interior Kithure Kindiki, in his maiden tour to the post where he inspected its facilities, outlined the government's plan to better service delivery by reducing border crossing time where vigorous clearance is done. Moyale being the only gazetted border crossing point between Kenya and Ethiopia, the government is set to deploy more relevant authorities to the post to fast-track the movement of persons and goods in and out of the country.
Nataka huo muda ukatwe kutoka masaa 6 mpaka masaa 3, na ikiwezekana baadaye baada ya miezi 6 tupunguze mizigo iwe inapita boda kati ya saa 1 kutoka Kenya kwenda Ethiopia ama kutoka Ethiopia kuingia katika nchi yetu ya Kenya.
At the same time, the Border Patrol Unit has been tasked to heighten its operations, with cases of illegal movement of persons and goods still being recorded along the border lines, with more officers expected to be deployed within the area to beef up operations.
The people who are using Kenya to perpetuate drug trafficking, to perpetuate trafficking in persons, we are going to enhance our border patrol to ensure that we seal all the loopholes so that the people visiting Kenya from Ethiopia can come legitimately through the border post and they can be served.
Kindiki also held a public baraza where he announced the processing of national identity cards for residents in border counties will be reduced to 21 days, following a commitment by the government to safeguard the rights of citizenship and legal identity.
Watu wetu, vijana wetu ambao wanahitaji kupata identity cards wanasumbuliwa, hawapati, wengine hata kwenda university imekuwa ni shida. Hiyo maneno naomba.
We don't want any more waiting for 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. It is unfair that some of our young people in some parts of the country can wait for an identity card for 3 years, while in other places they are getting it in 2 weeks.
The Moyale one-stop border post is an integrated entry point to Kenya, with its operations harmonized between the Kenya Bureau of Standards and Kenya Revenue Authority, among other vital government institutions. Moyge William, TV 47.
Right, now to that previous story. Water shortage has hit many villages in Murang'a County as some of the rivers and boreholes dry up, leaving residents struggling to access the precious commodity. They are worried that the situation might magnify, urging the government to intervene. Paul Menu with more.
The state of the planet clearly indicates that climate change will make water shortages more likely in various parts of the world as humans pay for consequences resulted by environmental pollution. This climate change is, however, already affecting water access for people in Murang'a County, causing more strains in a bid to get the basic commodity for normal household purposes.
Tuna shida ya maji ya kunywa na ya kulima. Kitambo hii mto haukukuwa unakauka. Mto huu unaitwa Kagode. Haukukuwa unakauka kitambo.
Mpaka mahali tunaenda kuchota hakuna maji. Hata customer akikuitisha maji, wewe shida yako lazima uende mahali bali sana kumchotea maji. Sasa tunauliza aje? Na kila wakati mwisho wa mwezi unakuja kuangalia mita zao.
Locals in Kamasharia Ward, Mathioya constituency in Murang'a County, especially women, have to walk for long distances and queue with water jerrycans at Kariruara River, which is also at the verge of drying up.
Miaka ya zamani hapa kulikuwa kusuri kwa sababu maji ilikuwa mingi. Angalau sijui kama ni miti tulikata sana. Lakini kwa sasa miti iko, lakini ukipanda si unaona hakuna mvua. Haiwezi ikafanya hivyo. Ikakuwa. Sasa ni vizuri tusaidiwe kwa sababu hata wamama wakikuja hapa wanashoka sana.
School-going children have also been affected as they have to carry water from home for cleaning their classrooms.
Naogopa kunaweza tokea ugonjwa juu ya maji. Juu maji yenye tunachota ni baya. Hata sasa mahali natoka hata juu. Juu hata hii mto imetoka mahali kidogo sana hapa. Sasa sisi tunazidi tunauliza watu wa Katamadhi waturudishie maji yetu.
The residents are now calling on the Water Police Unit that was recently launched by the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki to tour all the water sources in the area, establish challenges and suggest solutions to the looming water crisis.
Gewaomba wakuje Kamasharia location, hii Jiko village waone vile tuko hali baya sana.
Paul Munio, TV 47.
And to the wonderful world of sports, Athletics Kenya President Jackson Tuwei earlier today revealed that Kenya lost the 2025 World Track and Field hosting rights to Japan due to lack of infrastructure. However, remained adamant that they will bid for the 2029 event. Today, Tuwei was speaking during the preparations for the Sirikwa cross-country event slated for Saturday in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, where he stated that despite hosting a number of international events, the World Athletics Championships was a tier higher. Hence, the specifications for the facilities, Because
of the infrastructure, Kasarani Stadium is an old stadium, and even if you renovate, it may not come to the standard that is required to host a world championship. So to look at the 2027, there are two challenges here. One is the infrastructure. Secondly, we have got a little bit of a problem with doping matters now. We had better fight doping and come out of it as opposed to asking to host a world championship in 2027.
I'm glad I'm back to cross country, and I want to see how the build-up has been and start my 2023 season. And for the world record, my coach is here. We are still going back to the drawing board with my coach and see what is possible this year, and also with my team, and see what is possible. But I'm still head up towards the world record, and I hope this year will fall in God's name.
First target is to hit the qualifying time. For it, I've gone a bit high. I have to do my personal best so that I can qualify to participate. For now, my personal best is 27:30. I have to do 27:10 to qualify. After that, I can assure you the performance will be great. And also, when we get onto the team, if we have a good planning with those who will be on